Very good morning, people. Today we are resuming back our current affairs live. Okay. Now in this class, okay, and if you've seen the previous video, okay, we've been speaking about your June month current affairs. Okay. Um, see, because we are on the same topic, okay, the previous class current affairs classes will be now linked in the description below. Have a look at that. In the very first topic, okay, the very first topic of our current affair discussion, what we started was uh, there are certain crafts. Yes, India is known for it. We also have certain art, okay, the way we make our crafts, etc. For example, clothing, the way we view, right? All these things have gained immense popularity since ages. Yeah, we also discussed about your Kashmiri products. I'm not going to dwell in much details of that because it was already discussed. You once go and check out that link. Okay, so what happened was, again it came into news like very recently. For what it was, see your head of state of USA, okay, that is the president and the first lady, his wife, okay, our prime minister gifted them, okay, our prime minister gifted them a very fine crafted, okay, Kashmiri shawl, okay, which was wrapped in a paper mache. This particular thing, okay, exactly what it is, we've discussed in the current affairs. Just have a look. And to the president, we've gifted a finely crafted model of silver Indian Railways. Okay, this is our version of, see, why railway only? We could have gifted bus, plane, helicopter, right? There was a reason we particularly gifted a model replica of a railways on which it is imprinted as Indian Railways, speaking about the historic connection, okay, that is which dates back to your beginning of modern history. Okay, now you being diplomats, that's how you connect. Okay, you just gift him and throw him something, that's called gift. No, everything should have a meaning behind it. And also this is one of the ways we establish diplomatic ties. And you're going to be the future diplomatic leaders, you have to understand the small simple sentiments behind these kind of things. This is a very important thing. First, it showcases what, okay, highlight we are giving to our arts and crafts. On a similar thing, see, one of the years we were wanting to promote millets and we wanted to call it as Year of Millets. So that time our Prime Minister gifted a particular head of state a box, okay, which contains all the sample of the millets that we have. Okay, this is the ways that we first of all use a way, okay, to showcase our products in the global medium. See, we could think, what importance is it coming from? Right, he gifted her something, she gifted him something, he gifted that fellow something. No, it is not about that. Anything that happens between head of states, okay, or a representative leader giving something to the people, okay, of another country, then it holds or it sparks a conversation as to what was it, why is it, right? So consider it our version of state marketing. Okay, so that's why current affairs are not just like, you buy hard something, you write something. No, it is a bit more than that. Okay, you just have to try to perceive that fine line. All right, so let's enter. We have been discussing, yeah. Now, June month current affairs we've been discussing. Again, it is not that I will just keep telling you and you will just keep listening. No, we'll make it an interactive session. So whenever I ask a question, you will answer it back. Or if I ask you feedback, what is your opinion, without any such, okay, hesitation, you do answer. Okay, you tell what your views are. See, again, there is no right answer, there is no wrong answer. It's only our views and opinions, except for things which do actually have a right answer. Okay, all right. We'll start with your world university rankings. See, before we enter into all these things, yes, what is this thing usually? Some person, a private player, let's assume, his whole thing is about finding out good ranking institutes and all, so that it will, why is it needed? They want to, the whole point is what they want to come, they want to put up a list of universities which are good, okay? Then they will get good amount of aiding, funding, etc. Or the people who want to join will be like, yes, I want to join that. Okay, so basically you boost the prestige and status of institutions, but on what means and ways and why? See, first and foremost, your universities. Okay, we're talking about universities here, not your education system alone. Okay, specifically universities. Okay, your universities are now no longer just a mere education systems. Okay, they are the ones that are producing. Okay, the way you think, the political ideology you will associate yourself with. Okay, see, it was also told, again, I'm not going to mention any event here, but it was also told that what kind of political side you will lean towards, the shaping of that takes place in your university, takes place in your colleges. Okay, so it was debated once, so the political parties are having significant influence, okay, significant influence in these colleges and universities, so that they will have pro their particular ideology people. This is true not just in any country, be it your developing countries. No, it is true of all the countries. Okay, because that is where, see, you're not learning something new to change your mind, or okay, but this is a phase where you know certain things, but you're shaped. Okay, what your next 30 years is going to be, in whichever profession you choose and which ally you will be siding to be, will be decided by these universities. Okay, not just political agenda, but also with respect to the way you're going to produce an economy. Okay, how is your approach going to be in case you lose that? All right, so multiple things, and a university doesn't mean that, see, at the end of the day, if you see, all the university is one thing, they want to give you some certificate of completion. You graduated from here. Yes, if that is the case, we are going to validate, this university is better, that university is better. Then is it the credibility of only the awarding certificate, or the things you learn there and which you will implement later? Okay, based on that, a World University Ranking has released a report. Okay, like I told you, what is the methodology, on what basis? Few of them are the academic reputation. Okay, okay, academic reputation, yes. Faculty student ratio, yes. Employer reputation, sustainability. Okay, few very important things that you have to note down here is sustainability, employment outcomes, international research network, citations per faculty, international faculty ratio, international student ratio. Okay, so basically what they are giving importance is to quality over quantity. The whole point of your ranking is this. But nowadays, what is happening is, the trend is quantity is increasing, quality is decreasing. Okay, to overcome that, okay, see, education system, and now we're now speaking about education system as a whole. In that, specifically, when we speak about your universities, it has become a situation where, let's take for India itself for an example, fresh amount of increased amount of graduates are being pumped into society, but equivalent level of employment is not given back. Okay, which is just creating increased number of unemployed youth graduates. Understanding, if you leave this unemployed youth graduates as unemployed itself, this will be very important cause which leads to social ills and evils being attracted. When I tell social ills and evils, that is one such thing such as your radicalization, terror activities. Okay, see, at the end of the day, youth should not be left unemployed. They have huge potential that has to be channelized somewhere, and when they're not finding the right source to channelize that, that is when they put their potential on the wrong source. Understanding, so that is why I say, why do you think your state is concerned as to how unemployment ratio is increasing? That is a matter of concern for all the states, not just India. Unemployment ratio is increasing, this is scaring the economy. Why? Someone is not having unemployment, why is the state concerned? Now it is a matter of concern. If you don't address it, if you don't make sure that they put their potential into a right dedicated path or source, they will put into things okay, which is undesirable, and that will turn detrimental to the country as a whole, and the effect is 12 folds more. Understanding? So this is the reason why the universities, it's not about just putting university graduates, or it's just about getting a graduation degree and people making money out of it. No, first thing is quality over quantity. Second thing, the educated youths coming into the system or the workforce should also be given a good equal amount of employment. See, recently this thing came with respect to IITs, okay, because we're on the topic. This year, okay, something alarming as this has came out, Ki, the package, now IIT, IIMs are very prestigious universities in India, right? You see, even there the employment, yes, higher package things are there, people who are getting those higher package, those things are there. But at the same point of time, we also observe the trend where IIT, IIM graduates are accepting as much as 25K, 30K, 12K, 15K per month salary, is because that much is the strain on the economy of unemployment. Either that or unemployment, what do you pick? Yes, so that is a very concerning situation right now. Understanding? The first position in your quality, okay, we are going to assume this only with respect to the quality and the rankings. Okay, the first place is held by your MIT. Okay, now India ka position, what is it in the rankings is 46 universities were ranked. Okay, 61% of the universities saw an improvement, that is they increased in their ranking. All right, IIT Bombay holds the first position, by first position, not first position in the ranking among all the Indian universities. Okay, IIT Bombay tops, and second is your IIT Delhi. We still have a long way to go ahead because we are nowhere in your top 10, top 50. Okay, so if we have to go there, okay, then we have significant way forward to do. All right. Yes, the next topic we'll be discussing is your electric vehicle. Okay, whenever it's electric vehicle, the automatic person's name would pop up is your Elon Musk. Yes. Now see, one thing is your mains question this year. Okay, one of the questions here. Let me just read out the question. Okay, to be more specific, I'll read out the question so that time it will be easier for us to connect or talk about it. Otherwise, I might tell this is the word, that is the word, and you might not understand what it is I'm telling. Yeah. It's a simple IR question. Okay. So this is this year polity mains question from paper 2. Okay. The question states, the West is, okay, the West is fostering India as an alternative to reduce dependence on China's supply chain and as a strategic ally to counter China's political and economic dominance. Explain this statement with examples. Here, see, as the question states, it's something about China, your West, let's call by West the USA guy, or your developed countries. They're trying to, okay, in the region, that is our Indo-Pacific region, all the South Asian beltway, as a counterweight to China, these people are backing India. Yes, the question was about that. And now we are speaking about is your current affairs, something about your electric vehicles. What is the link? No. That is where we have to connect the dots. See, one thing with respect to your China, according to that question itself, is a lot of, okay, times this thing is seen that supply chain disruption, okay, or your China has huge number of minerals, natural mineral resources. Understanding? And also its added advantage. See, first thing is your China has a double decker advantage. When I say something as a double-decker advantage, okay, see, certain countries have very well established resources, but they remain as untapped potential. Okay, like for example, your Central Asian countries. Okay, your Central Asian countries have huge resources. Okay, but they are untapped. There are other countries, okay, where you don't have natural resources, but you have an excellent secondary sector or manufacturing sector that is built by the country. By the country, it could be either private place, public place, that is not the question here. Okay. But your China has this double decker advantage where it has rich source of natural resources also. At the same point of time, it has built and established itself as a great giant of your manufacturing sector, which is dominating, okay, the present day global supply chain. And this was very much evident to us during your pandemic time, the COVID pandemic. See, 2019 we got pandemic, yes. But when we started resuming from the pandemic, the world had to come back. That is, the world had to start back, had to restart from the lockdown. At this point of time, the one who held the keys mainly was your China guy. Why? If it has to resume operations, then everything has to come from there, because that guy is the major manufacturing joint. Right? For example, your semiconductors, okay, the minerals, lithium, graphite, etc. Everything is from that guy. Understanding? Alongside that, he is manufacturing sector giant also. With this double decker advantage, he tries to dominate the geopolitical through his economy. Understanding? So, the political is getting dominated via economy. Now, when we tell that, this is true with respect to your supply chains, okay? This is true with respect to your supply chains. This is true with respect to your Belt Road initiatives. Yes, what do you think this is? One way of pumping economy into a country and then extorting political favors. Today, see how Maldives turned out. Today, see how Sri Lanka turned out. Today, see how Nepal is turning out. Understanding? And main thing is your OBOR initiatives. Same, one belt, one road. And also, it is trying to provoke the political of a country by putting its economic initiatives. That is the same thing. The Belt Road initiatives and everything passing through the disputed territory of India. Yes, that is our POK. If they are trying to do that in our country and they're not asking us permission, it is equivalent of they telling that this doesn't belong to you. But POK is a disputed land. Yes, so they are asserting the political dominance through the economy. Now, we were talking about something as current affairs with respect to EV vehicles, and we're discussing about IR. The important things is here. See, like I told, China has been dominating all these things. Getting electronic vehicles into India, what is the issue? You can just get electronic vehicles, right? Electric vehicles, what is the issue? You just get the vehicles, it's done. No. See, one thing with respect to electric vehicles is, yes, we are a country which is sunshine rich country. Okay, we are a sunshine rich country, and also we are also the same country where to use the electric vehicle we have that mentality of fear where I can't go long drive in my electric vehicle. What if charge stops off? What if there is no charging points? Okay, and also let's say I want to become a manufacturing sector in this. To bring electric vehicles itself is this difficult. But imagine if I decide that no, I am going to start manufacturing them. Then I do need minerals, I do need mineral security, okay, and I need a lot of support because I don't have it naturally. Okay, here is where your Indus X also will come into picture. India, US, okay, and that is defense acceleration thing. And one more thing is your mineral security partnership. Mineral security partnership we have with USA, Australia, Japan. Okay, so much so that we can start becoming, okay, self-sufficient with external help. Okay, again look at the words I'm using, self-sufficient with external help. Okay, so that we can make India's electric vehicle sector, okay, a feasible, viable and an alternative, okay, to the conventional mode of carbon consuming transportation. Look at the words I used. Carbon consuming transportation, because at the end of the day we all have to move towards greener source of energy, and not just I'm telling from our your environment to better advantage, but also the world is moving towards, okay, less carbon consumption, less carbon footprints, okay. So if we have to be on the same lines, yes, we have to do all these things, then look at this strategy. The electronic vehicle penetration in India was only 1.1% compared to the Asian average of 17.3%. It might be a simple electric vehicle sector, but actual implications that it has for India is huge. Okay, and for us being a developing country, okay, yes, we have excessive carbon consumption, we leave a lot of carbon footprint, but it is less compared to what today's developed countries did in your industrial revolution time. Yes, now we can tell that is the WTO concessions that we have also. Now we are developing and you're telling to reduce carbon footprint. Yes, all this is there. Okay. But if we don't start something now, okay, that is EV vehicles, manufacturing hub, we don't have minerals, fine, we get it through our allies, all those things, if we don't start, then there won't be a right time to start and we will be left behind in the development. That will be more detrimental to our policy of, if we say Naya India by 2047, then we need these changes at a metamorphic speed. Okay. So, India's electric vehicle sector is of very important topic, not just for your current affair perspective, but also your international relations as well as your environment. Okay. Let's just see few associated questions. Why does India need to accelerate its EV adoption? We just discussed. What are the challenges in this regard and what can be done to overcome them? Understanding? I will see some facts. Okay. Majority of our emissions, that is 87% of our emissions, are coming from your road transportations. Okay. Your electric vehicles as an alternative can reduce this. That is what we kept telling us. Your carbon footprint. Okay. See, when we kept telling how we have to reduce the carbon consumption, we linked it to IR. This is a current affair topic, but this is where we link to our quality also. Okay, the amount of pollution we reduce. Okay, the amount of pollution that we reduce is the amount of clean breathing air that we give to the future generations who can have their right to life. Okay, yes, we keep talking about this particular thing that we have to give back to the future generation in the way we receive, not damage it. Almost all of your international mediums, agreements, etc. speak of this sustainability. Yes, but these are all things that are needed to achieve that sustainability. These are all things that is needed to have, according to our Supreme Court's wide, okay, understanding of your Article 21, that is your right to life. Okay, so these are all the ways that you have to interlink it. Understanding? I think this 80% of our import is in crude oil. Okay, this puts a huge strain on our economy. Okay, and also especially it's very unstable prices. And also see, anytime anything happens in the international domain. Okay, see, as a matter of fact, today is 4th October 2024 pay, the world as we see is having these many conflicts or wars. I don't know what exactly is it that we have to call whatever is happening around us. Russia-Ukraine conflict is still happening. Israel-Hamas war had started. Then Hezbollah entered. Iraq, Iran. So your confrontation is increasing. Today it was told that G7 summit members, the G7 members criticized your Hezbollah for the missile attack on Israel. Now they are telling they will retaliate. All these things, don't you think will keep on instigating these prices? Which means India has to keep bearing that prices. We have to buy it. We don't have any other option. Yes, that fellow tells, let's say he tells 10 times increased price. We have to buy. We don't have an option because we're a developing country. But on the long term, okay, on the long term, if we start converting, moving towards greener and cleaner sustainable forms of energy, which is going to give lesser footprints, okay, then we have a chance. Okay, see, and also nothing can be spontaneous, just like this, I'm going to change. No genius in real world, right? So these are all the approaches that we need to take so that, okay, further down the lane, if we face something like this, we have a chance. Okay, that is the importance of these things. Nothing in IR, nothing in polity, nothing in international relations, nothing in current affairs happen in a quick of a time, apart from your wars. Okay, that also countries plan, but also this also happens. People keep retaliating without even considering the human right crisis that is happening. See, everywhere people are just struggling. We see, yeah, today is October 4th, I told them. The news today came out telling that, marriage in your bomb bunkers. People are trying to sustain their life even in the most difficult possible paths. See, we keep reading this current affairs and all these things. No, if we have zero impact in connecting, we can't tell that, somewhere some person is fighting. How is it affecting to me? And that is the wrong mentality. If that is the case, somewhere something is happening. And why price rise is happening here? If you see the prices of gold, yeah, it is skyrocketing. Why? And India is one of the largest consumers. 50% of our gold demand, okay, is due to your marriages, weddings, and all those things. Yeah. Now, to all these people, how you can tell, they have money, they'll buy it. But see, our Indian culture is different with respect to consumption of these precious metals. It has become a matter of, this is how it is done. I'm not telling, again, same thing. Snap a finger, it's not going to change. All right. But are people here, middle class people who can't afford to buy it, low income group people who can't afford to buy it, people below that, Antodya, they can't afford to buy it. But don't you think they also have a right at all those things? Yes, because it is embedded in our culture. Again, you can't tell her change the culture. No, it is not. Your point is not telling people to change their assumption, their belief, their ideology. Your whole purpose is just to make sure that they have a smooth running life. And you as a government, you as a state, you as a diplomat, you as a bureaucrat are just to make sure that their life is just about moving forward. Okay, they should not be the one to be worrying all these. You should be the one to worry all this. You should be the one to take a forward step. You should be the one to take, if I take these things, this is better for my country. So on that perspective, when we start answering questions like this, okay, it is our important role that we do have to adopt EV. Okay, it is no longer an option but rather a necessity now more than ever. Understanding? Look at this. Decarbonizing transportation will improve your country's energy security. All right. What are the challenges? High initial cost, limited charging infrastructure, range anxiety. Again, with the range anxiety also comes, I'll be driving. What if suddenly it stops off? What will happen then? What if there's no charging station there? Now, these are not crazy ideas. These are ideas which are based on reality, because reality is that way. Yeah, I'm not telling everywhere, but yes, this is also a very high possible scenario. Okay, another thing is model option. See, when we keep telling, they just have to consider what is good. Why should they think of all these things? See, still in India, even today, 4th October 2024 pe also, owning a vehicle, okay, see, there's all three sections, four sections for that matter: high income group, middle income group, low income group, Antyodaya, BPL, everything. for majority chunk of India, okay, still owning a own vehicle for transportation is a dream. Now for when let's say they save up enough, they decide to buy a vehicle, they would obviously have, and take it personally, you yourself take it, you all also would be having, no, based on our income limit, our vehicle, whichever is our dream car, okay, that also keeps changing. Yes, for majority of people, owning a decent car, okay, if my car looks like this, my car has these things, is also important. Okay, here we can tell her limited model option. What model option? That and all people shouldn't say it's just EV or you should take it. No, no. See, consumption is either way going to be there. Okay, at the same point of view, you also have to see the proper mentality of our people. Yes, if you look at this concept of this Indica cars and all, if you look at the history, okay, everything with respect to our culture, our India, if it has a particular way, it is because our culture embedding is different. We are unique from the west, we are unique from the east, okay, and we are very cultural pocket in the southeast, your South Asian country itself, okay. That is why we don't simply tell, huh, India is a culture in itself, okay. India is a cultural pocket in itself. We have varied amount of things, are things like I told you that Indica car story, okay, your Indica cars used to come, okay. If you don't know, just look at the story as to how did that car concept start, why that particular car is now today viewed as what it was viewed, okay. If you look at these kind of things, no, it's kind of enduring to see how our culture adopts. And see, globalization is happening throughout the world. It's happening in India. No part has globalization left. But amidst this globalization also, we take elements of that and imbibe it within our culture. That is something unique about India. There was this couple years back, there was this mains question which kept telling, see, modernization came in, westernization came in, globalization came in, all these things started coming in. So there should be a possibility, right, that we should be moving away from our culture. I'm telling that is not true, but there is a possibility that we should be moving away from the culture. But in India, if you observe, they're carrying the culture with them. Still, it is moving forward. How do you think? This was the summation of the question. This was the main question. So these are all the ways. These are all the ways that it seems like a possibility that, let anything come, globalization, westernization, modernization, any other Asians also, if they come also, our country has a way of taking something from the evolving ideologies, putting it in India's culture and presenting a separate kind. Understanding? What is the way forward? Like the question spoke, a role of governments in promoting your EVs, localization production, that is, it has to be indigenous also. One of the reason being, when something you start in the manufacturing sector, production and everything, it also leads to increased amount of economic activity. And also one main thing is it increases employment ratio. Remember the previous one in this topic we kept talking, educated employees coming out but no employment, okay. So this kind of things improves employment as well as economy, is a win-win situation for us. Understanding? See, your FAME is your government brought up idea which speaks about faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicles, and also it is giving reduction in GST for around 5%, okay. On that front, you have to mention this because they bought it out for this particular topic. You have to mention this new electric mobility promotion scheme, okay, wherein 500 crores are provided as subsidies for manufacturing e-two-wheelers and e-three-wheelers, okay, electronic two-wheeler vehicles and electronic three-wheeler vehicles. So whenever you start understanding about a particular topic, don't be too constrained, be broad enough. Don't look at it like, I just have to by heart, what should I by heart in this, thoda to current affairs na. So you have to be like, so what is the implications of it, what is the implications on Indian scenario. Introducing electric vehicle is a topic, but it is extremely different for a Western country and extremely different for an India. Okay, the matter is not just Western country or India, even some other country, ka South Asian country, ka only introduction of EV vehicle is different, introduction of EV vehicle in India is different. Okay, this is where I told you, read about that, what is that, Indica story and all those things. Okay, it's just you become more aware. That is the whole point of current affairs, no? Yeah. Discoms. This also is because of one of the current scheme topic issue. Okay, populism cripples revival of discoms. Understand it like this: one dude, government dude, he is going to generate electricity. Okay, people, electricity has to go. Yes, from this electricity generating dude, one guy will come. He'll take the electricity and he will give it to the people. Yes. Okay, this dude is generating electricity. We'll draw a few hairs on him. He's drawing electricity, so his hairs are standing. Okay. So this is the people. All these are people. These are not just one individual person with a bad hair day or face day, but rather it's a hamlet of people, assume it like that. So this guy is generating electricity. Bad at drawing, just understand the idea. He is generating electricity. This discom dude is going to take electricity from him and give us this electricity. Okay? Electricity, no, so that's why it's moving like that. So this guy is going to take electricity and he's going to give it to us. So what is the deal? He gives electricity, we pay this guy electricity bill back. What is the issue in that? Why is it telling it is crippling something? Meaning this guy is not possible to run. That much of difficulty we have put it to the discom guy. What difficulty? This guy is taking electricity, giving, and we are paying back, right? This is where it comes in this word. Many places, let's say your Punjab gets free electricity for farmers. Delhi pay, if you're consuming somewhere around 200 to 400 units, you get subsidies for around like 800 bucks or something. And there are states, Karnataka pay also, under 200 units if you're consuming electricity, it is free for you. We are happy. I'm going to put a very happy face. Yay, I don't have to pay electricity bill if I'm putting it under 200 units, or I'm getting a subsidy for particular units, or if I'm doing farming, I get it for free. I am happy, but this guy is not sad. See, we're reading current affairs. It's let's not just put too much overwhelming of information. Let's just make it as a little bit. It's in bits of fun. Yeah. Yes, so this guy is crying. This guy is supposed to pay me, but this guy is not paying me. Who's going to pay me? I don't have money already. See, let's. This guy has one more issue. Let's say he's taking 250 units from this guy. Okay, but effectively, what he is selling to the people, for which people are paying back, let's assume out of 250 units are only 150 units. What is the remaining 100 units? What happened to my 100 units? It is called stolen units, where people don't pay for it somehow. Okay, it's like either in the loss of transportation. Okay, you can't go check no where electricity fell. It's missing units. Yeah, so we call it stolen units. So already this guy is at 100 units loss. Upon that, these populist measures are putting a strain on him. He's crying around and telling who's going to pay me the money. Okay, this is where your center and states come and try to pitch into this guy and tell, okay, don't keep crying, something I'll do. Okay, this is where mainly your center and state comes in and tells, fine, don't cry, I'll help you out. Okay, this issue has been happening since past 25 years. Since 25 years, this guy is complaining, "Ayo, it's not working out. Ayo, it's not working out." Okay, this guy is keeping on complaining 25 years, and these people are telling, "Somehow I'll help you out. Wait, dude." Okay, So this issue is an ongoing debate. All right. The losses your DISCOM faces are in the name of AT&C, that is aggregate technical and commercial losses. Okay. Now I told you this one guy, this dude, okay, the one who's taking electricity, yeah, that is your National Thermal Power Corporation. All right. Now we spoke about your stolen units, right? It's as high as 27, and also these are the schemes that we kept speaking about, where people are introducing these populist schemes which are beneficial for people, yes, but it is also stressing the DISCOMs. All right. So on that front, what are the things that is, I told you, no, center and state. I'll tell him, wait, dude, I'll help you out. I'll help you out. So we'll see what is that help that the center and state are giving to the DISCOMs. One thing is your Uday Yojana. Your answer has to have this, okay, which is Ujjwal DISCOM Assurance Yojana. Okay, this was launched in 2015, but again they couldn't reach the targets. Okay, so we had to differently introduce another concept, that was a reforms linked result based scheme for distribution. This was introduced in your 2021 budget by a finance minister. Okay, this was also not providing adequate effective strategy, because the whole point was we are going to reduce the losses as much as possible. Somewhere the money that you are getting lost by either the populist schemes or the stolen units or etc., we will try to compensate you. Okay, that is also not happening. One of the issues with government trying to give, that is, first of all, it's going to give late, and also second thing, it would have crossed the time, which is again adding to the stress. Okay, so that is there. One more thing is your electricity. Okay, we have to not just electricity is not only about covering the losses but also rejuvenation. When I say rejuvenation, which means we view with a fresh aspect of moving towards sustainability. Okay, the next topic that we enter is unseen burden of women's unpaid labor. All right, now just write on the first two. Okay, then we'll discuss. Now before we enter into this topic, online class, I'm asking you this question. I'm hoping you guys will comment. What do you think is your view on unpaid labor? So I'm going to put it in the form of a more depictive question. We all have our mother, father, roles, figures. But if you see the role of a woman, it's more of a caregiving, okay, nature. Recently, this also came up in your newspaper. This was published. I think it was last Sunday newspaper, I guess. Yeah, just check it out once, where they were speaking about women in politics. Okay, women in politics pe also, the portfolios they were given for who, first of all, the percentage of women in cabinet rankings or in ministerial positions are very less. Despite that, when given, the women were given portfolios like women and child development, family issues, family planning throughout the country, throughout the world, not just any one particular country, but throughout the world. If you see, majority of the time, the women given the portfolio was something to do with family planning, welfare, children, women development, only these things. So something about hospitality, something about care sector given, and somewhere the society has associated or gendered. Okay, see, sex concept, male female, is a natural thing, but a gender concept is a societal thing. Yeah, so this gendered society has associated a stereotype as to hospitality, caring for the children, caring for the family, and in the process, okay, in the process of caring for the family, I'm not telling everyone, okay, I'm telling usually this is the scenario. If it's not the scenario, then why are we discussing? Yes, So usually in let's say if there is a situation where a woman has to choose between her children or over her career, it is expected of her to choose the children. Again, no one is telling no, choose the career, that this, no, it's not about debate about that, but for a woman it is more prevalent. Understanding? So according to you, what is your perception about, okay, this unpaid labor? Comment your views below. Okay, now you got to comment. Done? All right, let's look at this. In 2013, a woman by name Alice Munro, okay, when she released her literary work, the newspaper headlined her like this: Housewife who finds time to write short stories. Didn't get faced by that and ended up winning the Nobel Peace Prize in your Nobel Prize in your literature. Okay, 2023 Claudia Golden, she won a Nobel Prize in economics, who held the view that, look at this, women's career choices are often influenced by their preference by are often not influenced by their preferences but by societal norms. See, first and foremost, there are certain, okay, there are certain occupations. Hang on, let me check the technical. Yeah, it's fine. The technical difficulties. Yeah, so what was I talking? See, first of all, when it comes to career, before we enter into all of this, the concept of career, there are certain fields, okay, certain streams, okay, and certain particular chores and activities which are not usually meant for women. Okay, majority countries do not allow women to be the front line fighters, soldiers in the war. Okay, from there it ranges to few countries which don't even allow their women to drive, which don't even allow their women to be considered as an equal counterpart to a male. Again, like I told you previously, male female biologically differentiation, it is natural, it is nature. Whereas men, women, okay, men jobs are these, women jobs are these. Men role is this, women role is this. Now when I use this word, What does it mean? Breadwinner. What do you think it is talking about? Come on, online class. Yeah. Someone who earns a living for the family. Usually, most of the times, this is associated with a male. Yes, breadwinner of the family is usually associated with the male. Yeah. Now, the situation, I'll put it like this. Now, the situation, the women who becomes the breadwinner, okay, I told you, usually it is male. Now, when it is a female, she is also loaded with, alongside being the breadwinner of the family, she is also loaded with domestic chores. She also has to do this as well as this. So, work plus work. Understanding? Let's just discuss it as it is. When it comes to okay, when it comes to hiring, let's say a company wants to hire people. When they want to hire people, the probability of, first thing, hiring between a male and a female, okay, hiring between a male and female, the choice, again I'm not telling every time, but this is usually, yeah, the choice is usually, that is, a male is preferred over a female. Okay, why? Why is she not having the same qualifications, or is it the possibility that she may not be as smart or as educated or only suitable for the hospitality sector? That was the question posed. Second thing, one of the reasons for particularly not hiring a female is considered as marriage, children, maternity, okay, associated issues like this. This is, first of all, when you start looking at it, it is a very, for lack of words, sarcastic, okay, but it is a very normal culture. We all want to be educated, we all want to be literate, but we are also carrying the tag, the bag of burdens that whichever was carried by the previous, we're just carrying, we're telling, a change is happening. We're changing, this generation is changing. If you do not change things like this, then what exactly are you changing? What exactly is it that I mean changing? We'll just talk of this scenario, okay, where a company, any company, profit making company, wants to hire. First thing is, it's going to pick male or female. Well, see, at the end of the day, company, it's, yes, if it is a business organization, one thing is it is going to look for profits. But if there is something or any organization which ulterior motive is only profit making, then the whole concept that we keep speaking about, sustainability, okay, sustainable forms of economic generation, etc., everything goes down the drain. What do we mean by your sustainable ways of economy gain? First and foremost, when an option is given between a male and female, a male is picked. Let's say another option, okay, no, female is picked. Let's say two females are put. A unmarried or a childrenless female is picked over a child having mother. Why? Because if the child falls sick, then the mother might take holiday. If the child is not feeling well, the mother might take off. If the child ke liye something happens, then the mother has to take off. So something, it is considered like a liability. Understanding? Let's just take a small human emotion in here. If that mother, okay, that is the one who is now sitting, yeah, you can't think, yeah, it is not about me as an individual, but it is the organization, how it works. Understand this thing. If your mother didn't take that for you, you wouldn't be here. Yes, and also one more thing is, why is it considered, only it is, let's say both husband and wife are working, why is it only a wife has to take a sick leave if the child is not feeling well, if something happens to the child, the mother is supposed to be doing that. If something, again, I'm not questioning, no, mother should not do this, mother should not do that. No, the question is not about whether the mother should do this, mother should not do that. The question is why only a mother is doing. Understanding, try to change that mindset and be a little bit more broader in the thinking as to why only a mother is doing it. Why not a father? Why not an associated member? Why is the women, breadwinner women, coupled with both earning outside as well as coming home and doing the domestic chores? Why is it not a shared activity? That is because this is unpaid. And throughout the world, if you see, okay, the caregiving, chores are usually unpaid in nature. No one is going ahead and telling make all the caregiving activities paid. Your mom or wife or did these things, you have to pay. No, that is not the whole point. That is not the concept of change. That is not the true meaning of the generation is moving forward. Generation should move forward in a manner which is more sustainably good for all of them, right? So the question started coming up ki the more we start hiring women, then people are going to think maternity leave ke liye they'll take. So once a woman, okay, has produced children or taken a maternity leave, it is considered, okay, her job position is not as stable. Okay, the possibility of again, this was one thing your international organizations said, that for a female, okay, and especially after given birth and all those things, she should have one thing: stability or security in her job. Okay, because that is the one thing. See, if at all you are considering yourself truly educated, if at all you're considering yourself truly, I am moving towards, I'm not just a literate but also I'm an educated, I'm actually bothered about making a change in the society, then you have to stop this misnomer about considering the concept of women as a liability, married women as a liability, children women as a liability. Okay, we must, who's considering? Now if it's not considered, then why are we discussing this, right? So our perspective also has to widen up. Say, with respect to India, we have urban-rural divide. Yeah, we call it as wage penalty. Okay, meaning with respect to a working women. Okay, when in case when they have a child. Okay, see, when we say formal sectors, informal sectors, understand one thing about your formal sectors also. There are instances where, see, for a person, maternity benefit, maternity leave, paid maternity leaves, okay, sick leaves, etc., are not a provision in every sectors. First thing. Second thing, any kind of medical risks associated hurts the stability. Okay, and also they are at the chance of having their wages put down over someone who is consistently doing. Now, when I say consistently, the break considered, let's say, is a maternity leave 6 months. Even post that, it is considered as, this person shall be considered as a disposable, a liability. Any day they may leave a job. Okay, this mentality is inculcated. And when it comes to rural, see, first of all, rural pay, we do not have much benefits. Like when I'm telling from the formal sector sides, pay, you don't have maternity, you don't have maternity leaves, schemes, programs, etc. from the private institutions, not the government ones. And also their role of work is largely informal. Whereas when it comes to your urban, if you are a salaried or a regular employee, then the chances of your wages getting hit, the chances of your job security are all very highly detrimental, are means they are at a huge risk. Understanding? So first of all, you give, this was the topic that was raised. Unemployment, unsecurity is there for everyone. What makes male or female? Anyone ke liye it is there. What is the difference? Whether it is for again, this is not for comparison, job security only should be female should get, or what only male should get, or what's not about job security between males or females. We have a very unique, rather unique attributes for a female, especially in India. That is, this particular section has to fight from birth till death. What do I mean? Still today, female infanticide. The fight starts from there. Okay? The fight is not about who gets more, who is superior, who is inferior. No, the fight is about treat equals equally. When someone is at a disadvantaged position, created not by their own fault, then you give them an additional boost. Understanding? It is not of any savior mentalities. You're not doing any savior works, but you're doing your deed as a good human being. That's all. Understanding? These are the strategies. The female labor force participation rate states that your World Bank, okay? The women in the workforce between your 25 to 54 age category is 61.4%, whereas the male over 90%. And also the breadwinner syndrome, okay, which is nothing but, like I told you, earning a living, whereas a breadwinner mom, okay, is both work plus domestic load. Your one of the shorts page is a very nice one. Sudhamurthy ma'am has spoken how it means to treat your better half or spouse in the present situation. Okay, wherein it was a very nice clipping of the thing she showed. Don't expect, again, this is I'm paraphrasing what Sudhamurthy ma'am told. I'm not putting the exact words. Don't expect your wife to be like your mom. Here she has to go out, she has to go work, come back, and then do all these duties. You are supposed to be sharing the load. Okay, somewhere on that lines. If you can find it, do watch that. It is really nice. She actually sums up this topic in a very fine manner. That's a good summation that man gives. Okay. Yes, this is what we call motherhood penalty. What is it? Mothers are 6 times less likely to be recommended for a hire than non-mothers and 3.35 times less likely than a child-free man. Okay? And according to a British Trade Union Association, men do not face penalties as parents, as only the mothers. That is why the term motherhood penalty. Okay? I want you to write this thing down. This is important. Okay? Please write it down. Okay? Now, why are we having this concept of motherhood penalty? Again, our gendered society, one reason. Second, culturally it's embedded. And third thing, we consider it as an okay norm. We are okay carrying forward the same thing. We do not have much issues with it. Okay? That is one of the things about your motherhood penalty. Alright? Let's look into the next topic. Employment unemployment schedule. Okay, this is part of next topic, but this is very much closely linked to what we spoke previously, which is again speaking about your motherhood penalty only. Your rural women face almost zero penalties when it comes to your motherhood penalty. Again, why? Informal nature. Second thing, there's a lot of issues with respect to childcare. The issue with childcare is if there is an option, okay, where one of the parent, I'm going to let you understand or answer it to me. There's a dad, there's a mom, both are working. Child delivered, okay. The child that day, okay, or it's very young, child has to be looked after. Who do you think is more probable of leaving the job or who do we expect them to leave the job to look after the child? Okay, answer what is your opinion. And also post the stage, okay, where child can be left in the custody of another person's stage. I'm not telling you an infant, I'm talking about a child. So when it comes to childcare, formal sectors itself haven't developed a well-established childcare in India. Okay, the concept of formal sectors having a childcare or well-established one itself is still a distant dream. Then imagine the case in informal sector. Okay, so this is one of the very urgent need in today's society about having a well adequate childcare to be present in the women working space. Okay, when this is made a rule, see, it's not difficult that we can't make a rule. You have to have a childcare. If we tell that, the companies now will think that is additional cost to me. If I have to spend this additional cost, instead let me not hire women at all. Let me just hire men only. It's easier, it's less costing, and I don't have to abide by these rules. Understanding? This kind of discrimination also starts. So, you're discriminated for actually following your biology. See, the society should not be based on gender. The society should be based on nature, okay, or biology. The reason I'm telling this is, if we are going forward with a gendered society, we are still always going to lack. Okay, and on that front, largely majority of the international organizations are stating that spend more on, okay, rather than spending on defense, rather than spending on that, this and everything, spend more on women and child development also. See, the state's role should not be like, women and child development. India pay, again, we have a very unique set of challenges. Like I told you, we have to fight for immunization programs, anemia for the women, for the teenage girls, okay, and also we have to educate. Still, majority of chunks in the rural India, the proper menstrual hygiene cycle is still considered a taboo to be spoken out or to be, circulating the news amongst. So amidst this, we have to first change these things, and then we, on the simultaneously, we have to keep bringing these activities, which is again, I'm not going to tell which is a tough job, but it is a possible job for a person who is involved and like-minded in the activity. Okay, and then here is when people tend to mention, how about only women in these, like the earlier question I posed. Only women in development can understand. Why only that? Why only that case? Was the question that was asked in your, I'm thinking it's Sunday paper only. Just check it out once. Okay. According to this, highly educated women or those in regular salaried positions incur a larger wage penalty after motherhood than their educated or than their less educated or casually employed counterparts. Yes, that is also one more thing. Highly educated women who are working in a good job relatively tend to face a cut, okay, in their salaries compared to their counterparts who are either less educated, okay, than them. Another thing usually we see with respect to women and the employment category, again this was also published, is the negotiation that is given to them, okay, is not very, okay, a fair deal. Understanding, because of all the constraints which they also understand, the negotiation is usually not in their favor, that is not in the women's favor. Fine. According to your UN Women report, okay, very important, you have to write this down. A lack of childcare facilities is a major barrier to gender equality in job markets, and especially if you come to India, where the divide is formal, informal pay is another set of issues, formal pay another set of issues. Formal, again, whenever you say formal, doesn't mean every single section follows this. Okay, despite that, okay, people are trying to make it work. And your International Labor Organization has come up with care at work, which speaks about your universal child care. Understanding? Please write this down. This is very important. Okay, done. Let's move ahead. The next topic we speak about is the vulnerabilities in India's elderly. Main thing when we speak about elderly, understand the demographic situation in India where the longevity or basically the years of living for the elders have increased, whereas the birth rate have decreased. Okay, again, it's not in a very alarming level, but this is a condition, which means presently we do not find largely 10 children, 12 children, 13 children like earlier. Yeah, so it is being a little bit mindful. One thing with respect to your elderly when we are going to discuss, okay, see, our Indians, we have a saying, okay, when people reach a certain age, okay, when people, older people, when they reach a certain age, they start behaving like kids. This is a common phrase we have in our culture. When we say how older people start behaving like kids, what do they mean? What do you think they're meaning? Do you think they'll just sit around, cry, throwing out tantrums? See, when it comes to elders and kids, one very common point is they are not at a stage to do everything by themselves. Okay? They need assistance. Both of them require the assistance for them to carry forward their day-to-day tasks. Okay, which puts this section, okay, at an abuse. Again, this is not for every condition, but this is what is being observed. Understanding? And also especially for them to move ahead, and if they belong to, okay, a section income group where, okay, meeting their day-to-day demands are considered as a burden on the others. Okay, so poverty affects your elderly very much, that it is not just affecting their economy, but it is also hurting them emotionally, mentally, physically. Okay, the so-called social respect or dignity that is being stripped. Okay, that is why it leads to this. Okay, what is the issues, main issues that is spoken is restrictions in daily activities, multi-morbidity, poverty and lack of income. More coupled with that is your food insecurity. Majority of the time with respect to elderly population, it is said that either, okay, they consume less than what they need, or most times they skip meals. It is not out of choice, it is because of the issues. Okay, poverty along with hunger, food insecurity. All these three on their age, while we say they are equivalent to kids, puts them at a very difficult position. Okay, And alongside that, yes, we can tell how government can do something now. Government can give some pensions and that and this. Yes, but that is not possible for. We do have pension concept. We do have these things, but first and foremost, lack of awareness. Okay. Second thing, lot of digital divide. Okay. Third thing, there are a lot of technical loopholes too. Okay, if they have to go, you have to get this certificate, even to go there, do those things, find whom to do. Okay, that is becoming very difficult for the elderly population. Okay, meaning, let's say someone tells, okay, I have found out that there is some pension scheme, can you give some money? They tell you have to get these documents, you have to get these certificates, you have to make sure these things are present. All these things are basically making their already burdened life even more burdened. Okay, the next topic we'll be discussing is your Kala Azar. Kala Azar is a disease caused by your parasitic infection. Okay, that is visceral leishmaniasis. Okay, so it is a parasite which causes the disease. With respect to South Asia, we find it more endemic in Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal, that is your BBIN countries. What are the different types of Kala Azar? Okay, this is what we have, where it affects the multiple organs and it is also more serious form which leads to death untreated. Okay, then also we have some skin sores. Okay, which comes, but this is in the form of a milder and more common form. Okay, one of the symptoms, okay, the way it gets masked is fever, loss of appetite, that is you don't feel like eating food, fatigue, enlargement of liver, spleen, nodes, suppression in the bone marrow, and also one more thing is it leads to secondary infection. But most importantly, one thing about your Kala Azar is most of the times if we observe, okay, it tends to, okay, see in this case, in your cutaneous or mucocutaneous pompe, they tend to be somewhere present in even dormant stage also. Okay, now presently, because it's current affair we are speaking about this, we have detected the cases in all these places. What is the treatment for this? Okay, we do have oral tablets. Okay, another thing is, see, one way to stop the disease is first through vaccines, medicines, oral, that thing, this thing, etc. Another thing is cut down the vector or transmitter. If you can't cut down the disease itself, then cut down the way in which it is spread. Your pandemic time, what do you think was the lockdown about? We initially we needed time to find out how to curb the disease, what vaccines should be given, etc. and all. But one of the things that we could do in the meanwhile was reduce the way it was getting transmitted. And how is that? People contact. What was the solution? Lockdown. Again, I'm telling not the only solution, but that was the solution that was given to us. Understanding? So one way to curb a disease is either through vaccines. Okay. Second is through cut down the transmitter or the vector. Here, excuse me, here it is through your sand flies which spread the disease. So you cut down the transmission of that. That is usually done by your mosquito sprays. Okay, all those things. With respect to diseases, no, there is only so much that we can do. But the irony is, even that we are not doing efficiently and effectively. Okay, clear up until here? Any doubts? Anything you don't understand? Okay, we'll move ahead. The next topic is about your child nutrition. See the fact that your children, I mean, hunger is an issue for each and every one of them, but hunger for children and especially under the age of 5 is a very gut wrenching thing. Okay, where we have death of children because of lack of good food, lack of nutritional food, lack of food. There you go. I put all the three in the category. No good food, no nutritional food, no food. Okay, this is a hard gut wrenching thing that happens in our day to day life. We tend to read them in papers, we tend to read them in our shorts, reels, and we tend to move on to the next one. So 1 in 4 children under the age of 5 are experiencing severe food poverty, which leads to child wasting, child stunting. Okay, and their entire productivity of life, okay, in any future years to come is also affected, is hampered. Okay, unless and until something is done. And see, what is the sad thing is, they are facing all those things out of no mistake of theirs. They have zero role in, and also this thing is there, remember, deserve. They don't deserve that. Okay, they definitely don't deserve that, and that is not something that should be put on them, but that is something they're put on, but they definitely don't deserve. This report, your child nutrition report, is tabled by your UNICEF. Okay, write this down, important. Done. Okay, moving ahead. The next thing we'll be talking about is your hydroxyurea. Your ICMR has basically found or left an interest stating that we are looking for people who want to, okay, collaborate with us to produce hydroxyurea, basically a drug which is used to treat your sickle cell anemia. All right, it is an oral chemotherapy drug. Okay, your hemoglobin, all right, all throughout your body, blood hemoglobin has to be the one that has to take it. We'll consider it like a transport network. Okay, but the shape, it's made of like 4 proteins, alpha, beta. Now due to mutation, okay, some of the blood cells, instead of being complete like this, they go into becoming into a sickle cell shape. Thus the name sickle cell anemia, which means they die faster. Okay, they are not able to complete their role, which leads the person into extreme form of anemia or shortage of iron, less iron in the body. Okay, which leads to fatigue, which leads to tiredness, profuse sweating. Okay, they can't do any activities. It overall puts a huge damper on their lifestyle. Okay, and also the productivity and their potential that is to come. Another thing is your ministry has teamed up, okay, even to find out in the tribals, okay, tribal children pay, who and all are having sickle cell anemia, so they can form a report as to how is it affecting them. Okay, so they're covering all the bases. Okay, how exactly is the sickle cell anemia? Look at this. This is a normal red blood cell. This is a sickle cell. Okay, meaning the name is because it looks like a sickle. Yes, so that's the name, sickle cell anemia. Whatever the work it had to do there is complete, but here it's not able to do, and they die faster. Okay, and they also have a tendency to become, block the veins itself. See, in this condition. Okay, deoxygenated sickle cells, they clump together and they block the veins. Okay, Again, like the sickle cell, we have spoken about hemoglobin as 440 proteins. Okay, because of the mutation in the protein, we get the sickle shape. So, what is the measure taken by our government? National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination Mission, that is to eliminate sickle cell anemia by 2047. Very, very important. Please write this down. All right, done. We'll move on to the next topic. Djibouti, look at this. Good exposure to water area, no? So somewhere I'm talking about water area, that is, what do you think it is linked to? They have teamed up, okay, to fight against malaria by deploying genetically modified mosquitoes. Okay. This malaria. Now this is one of the things that is a menace. Okay. This is a menace for developing and least developed countries. Okay. Now when we say malaria has to be eliminated, malaria issues are becoming too much, people are suffering a lot, that includes the vulnerable sections such as your children, elderly, okay. So and even in trying to looking after them, providing them the, whenever an endemic or pandemic hits, it puts another dent on the state economy. Okay, so all these things are there. So one of the ways that they have been trying to fight malaria is by through introduction of genetically modified mosquitoes. You have heard about your BT cotton, which is genetically modified. We've also been hearing about your GM mustards, genetically modified mustards, and GM brinjals, genetically modified brinjals. See, we can do a lot of genetic modifications on the existing varieties and species. But the issue about that is you don't know what is the possible outcomes. Okay, you don't know what is the possible outcomes and on what level can it affect our food chain, our entire network of biodiversity. Okay, you don't know ecological balance, how will it get hampered by introducing GM, that is undesired effects are larger. And the second foremost important thing is we don't know what could happen, okay, which puts it in a very tough pickle. See, when you know this might happen, so you can take precautions. Thing is, we ourselves don't have adequate knowledge as to what might happen. Okay, this makes it difficult. Okay, that is why they've not introduced it for much of the food crops. But with respect to this, okay, your genetically modified mosquito spray, they are bringing it out only for the male. Okay, male genetically modified mosquitoes will be left out, and this is to target the female Anopheles mosquito. Okay, second thing, so that they shouldn't produce the offsprings. Third thing is reduce their population, because like we told with respect to the disease in one of the previous itself, with respect to disease, okay, either form vaccines, reduce the disease itself, or cut down the vector, or cut down the transmission. Here, this mosquito is the transmitter, the female Anopheles mosquito. Okay. So you're genetically modifying a mosquito and leaving out an open for what? It limits female offspring surviving to adulthood, and second, it decreases the population of female Anopheles mosquitoes, which is the main vector or transmitter of your malaria. Understanding? Well, how is malaria caused by? We saw the vector. We have to also see the one that is causing. The malaria is caused by a plasmodium parasite. Okay. And for us, it is largely a plasmodium vivax. Okay, it's milder symptoms, but one thing is it gets deposited in your liver and it can retract, that is come back anytime. That is one of the issues. With respect to your Africa, these malarias usually lead to deaths. Okay, the plasmodium ovale also, the condition is once they bite, once they have come into your body in contact, they tend to stay on for long years. Okay, the possible threat is always there with respect to your malaria. Understanding? Any doubts so far? Anything you didn't understand? Okay, all right, I'm assuming you've enjoyed this session. Okay, I'll come back and meet you in another current affair class. Okay, thank you class.